I am 39 days away from the start of my Disneyland college program. I thought it would be a fun way to pass the time to make a couple of videos that were just Disney facts and fun stuff. I've seen the Disney tag floating around with a couple of Disney YouTubers, and I thought it would be something kind of fun to do and something new to try while I was waiting to start my program. All right, let's get started. The first question is a scene in any Disney movie you wish you could experience. So, I've always wanted to experience the scene where Ariel is on the rock singing the reprise of Part of Your World after she rescued Prince Eric, and the waves are like whoosh, and just everything's perfect, and you're on this rock. And I just have always wanted to experience that moment in my life since, of course, The Little Mermaid is my favorite movie. Another moment that I always wanted to experience ever since I've seen it was the Tangled boat scene. I have always wanted to let go of a floating lantern. It is on my bucket list of things to do, and doing it in the way that Tangled does, with hundreds of thousands of them all letting go at the same time on a boat, would just be absolutely breathtaking. Those would definitely be the two scenes that I think I would want to experience the most. The second question is an unforgettable experience or moment that you've had at the parks. For me, the most unforgettable moment that I've ever had at the parks was the first time watching Wishes as a cast member. Now, I've been to the parks at least 30 plus times before I started my college program, and I had seen Wishes before, of course. But I decided that I was going to see it alone. My first night in the parks as a cast member, I got myself a Dole Whip. I sat right near the Liberty Square Bridge and I watched the fireworks. I cried like a baby. It was just unforgettable. It was so magical for me to watch those as a cast member after watching them for so many years as a guest, and to see that all my wishes, all my dreams really did come true. The third question is what non Disney song reminds you or brings back memories of Disney? It's really funny because the song that reminds me of my Disney college program is Turn Down for What? Because it played everywhere. Every club we ever went to, House of Blues, Senor Frogs, on the party bus, at all of the Disney College Program events, that song was a staple. It was on the radio, it was everywhere. I heard it, I'm sure, every day. So that is the song that reminds me of my college program. A fourth question is when was the first time you went to the Disney parks? The first time that I went to the Disney parks was, I think it was 1993. So I was still an infant. My dad did the Disney Business Institute a lot when I was little. So I actually ended up going many times, but obviously I don't remember anything about it. The fifth question is if you could choose any Disney character to be your best friend, who would you choose? I would definitely choose Rapunzel. I think that she would be really fun to hang out with. I think she would be down for anything. And that's the kind of friend that I want. I want somebody who I'm like, let's just go on a crazy wild adventure today. And I need somebody that's going to say, yeah, let's go. And not somebody who's going to tell me all the things that we can't do. I need somebody who is down for a spontaneous road trip, who wants to fly to Europe with me. That's the kind of best friend that I need. And I think Rapunzel is would definitely be down for that kind of thing. I think she'd also be a big Disney fanatic because I feel like she would just have so much fun at the parks, and that is definitely the kind of best friend I need. The sixth question is who are your favorite Disney princesses? My two favorite princesses are Ariel and Merida. Um, I've always loved Ariel since I was a little girl. She's the first Disney princess that I actually remember seeing. And then Merida, I saw on opening day of that movie back in 2012. And I fell instantly in love with her. She is so strong, and I love her hair. It reminds me of my hair, sort of. But I also just think she's really cool and sends like a really good message to young girls that you don't have to um, marry to be a happy person. And I love that her movie is focused more on familial love than like actual like romantic love, I guess. Another thing that I really love about Ariel is that I always felt like I didn't belong where I was. I never felt like I really fit in Ohio. I felt like I needed to get out there and explore the world. And her song, Part of Your World, is really my life's anthem. I always felt like Disney was where I belonged, and so I worked my butt off and I ended up in Disney. So I really feel like I have become part of that world. So every time I hear that song, I get really happy. Name a scene in any Disney movie that never fails to make you cry. So, the one scene that never fails to make me cry is Bambi's mother's death. I just think it's really sad. I just watch his abandonment and I feel for him. It's a very sad scene. I wouldn't recommend that movie to watch ever unless you want to cry. Another scene that always gets me is the scene in Fox and the Hound where the woman has to drop Todd off in the forest, and it's a very sad scene. And once again, unless you feel like crying, wouldn't watch that movie. What is the first Disney movie you remember seeing? I remember singing the Little Mermaid song, the part where she goes, ah, but I don't specifically actually remember seeing that movie. But obviously, I'm going to assume since I was singing it, I've seen it. I actually talked to my mom about this and asked her what the first Disney movie she showed me was. And she said Winnie the Pooh. So, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh was apparently the first movie I ever saw that was Disney movie. She said that my first princess movie was The Little Mermaid, so I'm gonna say that. But the first Disney movie that I specifically remember seeing was Pocahontas in theaters. So I also really loved Pocahontas when I was a little girl, and I always would run around and pretend to be her, like flying in the wind and things. So that was one of my favorite movies too. All right, the last question is what is your favorite Disney movie? In case you couldn't guess by now, my favorite Disney movie is The Little Mermaid. It's been my favorite since I was a little girl and it has a lot of sentimental value to me. So I will always say The Little Mermaid is my favorite. But as I got older and started to watch other Disney movies, I really fell in love with Alice in Wonderland. I really love the Cheshire Cat. I please don't ask me why. I don't know. I just love him very dearly. And I just think the whole concept is such an interesting concept. And I know it was a movie that Walt Disney really wanted to produce. And I feel like he put a lot of love into that movie. So it really does mean a lot to me. And obviously, I love all of the Disney Renaissance movies. I love all the historical Disney movies just because I love Disney history. But there you have it. That's all you need to know about my Disney tag. Thanks so much for watching and have a magical day.